I love history.
PE, socializing.
I really like the Greek and Roman era of history.
Science.
I like to build things.
I really enjoy numbers.
I love math.
Oh, and music.
Every one of God's children is exceptional. Every child has unique gifts and the potential to become all God intended. As a parent, you're asking, what's the best way to nurture that and help it grow? How can I help my child grow closer to the Lord and become a morally straight, well-rounded, and successful adult? Public school systems often have to choose quantity over quality. They can function more like diploma factories than stewards of God's children. And the curricula and culture don't reflect a biblical worldview.
Sometimes we had security guards in our class.
Right here in the area that I live in, there are schools that kids have to go through metal detectors.
It's true that frogs breathe in water, and it's true that the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. But when I taught in public schools, Christ was irrelevant to those truths. It didn't matter whether Christ was Lord of the universe or not when you studied those topics.
When I was first teaching, I was teaching class size. These were honors classes. They were class sizes of 32 students in an honors program. And when you're teaching, especially a subject like the humanities, to a 32-student classroom, I couldn't assign the types of in-depth writing assignments to my students because as a teacher, I didn't have the time to read them and grade them. But now, AP classes at WCA are oftentimes 10 students, and that means that you're able to do an incredibly personalized, rich education with those students. You're able to assign them complex work because I, as a faculty member, have the time to really read it and grade it and reflect on what they're doing. So as far as their education goes, they're just getting such a more rich educational experience.
And studies show that private schools really do better prepare students for college.
It is really challenging here at Rockbridge because they push you to answer the question, why?
I wanted their worldview to be, their Christian worldview to be integrated in every subject, in mathematics, in history, in literature, in biology, in sciences.
Many parents would love to send their children to a Christian school, but feel it's just beyond their grasp. That's where Salem's discount tuition program comes in.
The last thing I want to worry about is the environment that my child is in. I want them to learn, but I also want to know that they're safe. I want to know that they're loved. I want to know that they're nurtured. I want to know that their classmates are treating them with respect and with kindness. And for me, being in a Christian environment just gives me that much more security, and I can breathe a little bit better.
One thing that is so rewarding to me is to watch students become a part of the culture. It's a culture of respect. It's a culture of kindness and courtesy that I think is not found in many other school environments. And so one of the things that students adjust to is the culture change, that it's a culture where you're expected to be polite, to be warm. You can see students letting their guard down a little bit by bit, especially students who came from public schools where they were bullied or they were hassled, that they can finally trust that they'll be cared for, that their peers are, in general, kind people. I think that that's really one of the most wonderful transformations I see in students coming from public school environments.
A parent can expect a nurturing, loving environment. They can expect their children to be challenged on every level, challenged academically, challenged spiritually. They can expect that the whole child will be taught, not to the standards of the world, but the standards of the Word.
I was raised going to a public setting, and I realized in my own life that I think in a secular way. Even when you talk about miracles, you talk about God's hand at work in things, that I sometimes find myself thinking in a secular way, and I wanted my children to be raised differently. I wanted my children to think Christianly about all things.
How does the program work? Christ-centered private Christian schools in your area have agreed to discount their tuition rate to allow you, the parent or grandparent, the opportunity to enroll your student into a private Christian school, sometimes at half the cost. It's simple. Purchase the limited time voucher from your school of choice, and you will receive the discount for your son or daughter's first academic year at that school.
We think Christians ought to be the best thinkers because we have, we get to consider all of the truth, including the truth about God and who He is in everything that we talk about, we think about, and discuss here.
It's always raising the bar, raising the bar, raising the bar, and that's what they do here.
Through this program, an exceptional Christ-centered education is now within reach.
there is no better deal in town than, than what is offered with this joint program, discount tuition program.
I love the program, and I want to be a part of it.
If Salem's discount tuition program sounds like an answer to prayers, it probably is. Set your sights a little higher. Apply for a voucher today.